Morning and welcome to my top 10 blocks for WooCommerce. So the WordPress Block Editor or Gutenberg is fantastic now at letting you customize the key pages in your WooCommerce store. So your shop page, your category pages and your product pages, and also upsell your products throughout your site. So this guide is going to talk you through the best blocks out there that are going to help you maximize your revenue. So here we go. We'll start with number 10 and we'll work our way to number 1. Hope you find it useful. Okay, this is the featured product block and it's a free block that comes with WooCommerce now, and so I'm just going to add it to this page and show you what it looks like. But it's really nice for featuring your products in like a big banner. That's what it's ideal for. So here it is, the featured product. I'm just going to drag it across here. And then the first thing it's going to ask us is to choose a product. So I'll just choose the bracelet here, click done. And then we'll see how it takes the product image and adds a lovely sort of background image to that. And you'll see it brings the product title in, the product short description, that's this section here, your price, and this shop now button. You can change the height of it just by dragging it up and down so you can make it bigger. So these are really great for banners, or you might want to put this in a post to upsell your products within posts, or you might want to feature this if you're customizing the shop page. And I will put a link in the description on how you can customize your shop page and your category pages using a block like this. You can, over here on the right, you'll see some options where you can show the description or show the price. So you can just toggle those on and off. I probably want to keep those on. And then here you can change the overlay color and the opacity of that overlay color. So I'm just going to clear that. It defaults to about 50, I think, which is kind of cool. It shows, you know, your text will show, but the image will show beneath it. And then over here on the right, you can also change the focal point, so you can change the position of your product image behind there. So there we go, that's the featured product block. It's a really, really nice, simple block to use. If you want to change the product that you're featuring, you just click on the block and you see this little pencil up here. Click on that, and then here you can actually just select another product. And again, all the same options apply to that product. So there we go, there's the featured product block. Let's move on to the next one. Right, this next one is a little bit of a cheat because it's not actually available yet, but I'm so excited about it. I wanted to show you what's coming, and it's called the recently viewed products block. Why it's so exciting to me is because we're starting to personalize WooCommerce now to your visitors using blocks. This is the first one that really does this. So it's really, really exciting. So it just comes as a block, so it's really, really simple to use. It's just called the recently, let me just show you. It's called the recently viewed product block here, and you just add it into your page, and you can set the number of rows and columns you want over here on the right. So let me just set this to 1 row. So I'm just going to show 1 row of the products that your customers have recently viewed, and as they browse throughout the site, this block will be dynamically updated. So you can imagine this on your home page. You know, this will dynamically update with the products that your customers have actually been viewing as they're going through their store. So probably the most interesting products to them. You could also use this, incidentally, on your individual product pages. If you're using our WooBuilder Blocks plugin, instead of related products at the bottom, you could actually have recently viewed. Imagine how powerful that would be. Or you could dynamically inject them into your blog posts using our Block Injector for WooCommerce plugin. So there's lots of use cases where this personalization is going to be extremely powerful. So let me just show you how this works. It's quite hard to demo because it's personalized to the person shopping. But if I go and just view another product, for example, let's go and view this one here. Can you see up here? Now this site's got the debugging information left on it, so we can actually see what's going sort of under the bonnet. And can you see these are the products that I've viewed and I'm currently viewing. This is the one I've just viewed, which is the Garmin Phoenix 7. This one's been customized using our WooBuilder Blocks plugin, but it's still a product as far as our new block is concerned. And when I go back to that page where I inserted the block, can you see it's actually put that product image in for me? So it's dynamically updated the Garmin Phoenix 8 product for me, which is incredibly cool and incredibly powerful. So there we go, there's a sneak peek. It should be out fairly soon. It's called the recently viewed products block, and I think you're going to love that one. Okay, so this next one also falls into the realm of not being quite available yet, but again, it's so exciting and so powerful that I wanted to show you it, give you a sneak preview. It'll be out fairly soon. It's called Block Injector for WooCommerce. The idea behind this is that you can dynamically inject content anywhere within your website. So that's your posts, your pages, but it's also within all your key WooCommerce pages as well. So let me show you how it works, and I'll explain a bit more about how it's going to interact with WooCommerce. But the premise is that you create your content over here using the Block Injector menu. And we're just using Gutenberg to create our content. So you can create anything here. You know, if you can do it in Gutenberg, you can create your content type. So what I've done here, in fact, let's start from scratch. What I did here, I just added the WooCommerce featured product block to start with. Now this store only has one product called the Sports Tour, and I'm going to add that here. So that's my content that I'm going to dynamically inject into specific places within my site. And to do that, over here on the right, I've got this Block Injector tab. This is where we set the location. And there are a whole bunch of places where you can set the location. So let me just show you what those are. Here we go. So you can set them in the entire website, and that's your posts or specific posts. You can set them just to appear in posts by category or tag. You can also set them in all your pages or specific pages that you choose. And then we're also building places, specific places that you can put them in your WooCommerce pages. So all your WooCommerce pages, all your product pages, you can tailor it to target it just to show in products by category or by tag. You can say, right, just appear in specific products, or you can also have it in your category pages, your archive pages, or just certain category pages. You can have it show on your shop page, your account, your My Account page, or your basket page, or your checkout page. There are also specific places where you can position those within each of those pages. By default, for the WooCommerce ones, we're just talking about the WooCommerce ones here, you can have those at the top of those, the bottom of those, or also saying you can put them in places which are called custom hooks. So if you don't know what hooks are, they're basically, think of them as like preset places within your WooCommerce pages where you can dynamically inject stuff. And WooCommerce, there are a whole bunch of these in WooCommerce. Here's an example that these guys have put together, a visual representation of where the hooks are. And in this case, they're just for the single product page. But these exist on all your key WooCommerce pages. So we can be very specific and let you target that, you know, if you want this block to just come in just here in the WooCommerce, you know, above or below the single product summary, you'll be able to do that. And we're going to make these hooks very visible for end users as well. So you're going to be able to see them just by clicking on a link in the admin toolbar. So that's the principles of it. Let me just flick back to the one I'm showing you here. So over here in this one, all I've done is said, right, I want this to show in posts by category type. And then here I've just selected, because this is a rugby offer, rugby. Okay, so this offer is just going to appear in all my posts of category type rugby. Now I could also exclude certain posts from that filter if I wanted to as well, but I'm happy with that. Now when I go and click on my posts here and view a post that has been categorized as rugby, here's a good example. This is a Lions Rugby Tour post categorized in the middle as rugby. We should see that offer sitting at the top because I set it to appear at the top of that post. But if I go into the post itself, we'll see that that offer isn't there. It's just been dynamically injected, which is just incredibly powerful. If I go back and make a change to that post, that injection place now, let me just show you this. Let's go back to the rugby offer. And what I'm going to do this time, let's have it still show in rugby, but let's say I want to show after a certain number of blocks, and let's have it after 3 blocks. Update it. And now on all posts of type rugby, that post will appear after the 3rd block. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So there we go. There's a sneak look at the block injector for WooCommerce. It's coming very soon. It's going to be incredibly powerful. You know, you can imagine if you've got like 2,000 posts and you want to try and sell your products within those 2,000 posts. At the moment, you probably have to manually go through and add offers. Well, this you can do it in one click and have them appear in multiple places. So I think it's going to be incredibly powerful. Right, the next one is the product card block, and we've got an example of it here. It's a really simple block, but it's very elegant. And what happens when you when your customers go to a product and hover over them, they get to see more details on the product. So it's a really great block of being able to show those more details in an elegant transitional way. Just comes as a block. This is part of our Storefront Blocks plugin. Let me just show you how it works. So I've added the Storefront Blocks plugin to this site, and I'm just going to search for product card. It's this one here. I'm just going to drag it across into the page. It will load with some initial products, and you'll see those if you click on the block and look in the block customizer over here, that you can actually hand pick which products you want. So if you want any of these products to show, so pick a few of these, you'll see as I pick, it's actually going to show some of those products for me. Let's just add a couple more, so we've got a nice equal. We've got 2 rows, and you'll see when I hover over them, by default they do this nice fade animation, which is just basically picking up the gallery images automatically. So when you create a WooCommerce product, you can set the gallery image, and that's what it's picking up for me. There's lots of options with this block. I just want to show you really the one where you can do things like change the transition, which is over here. Can you see we've got the card animation? So you can either set it to flip or to fade. You can do loads of other stuff with this one, like you can also, change the font colors and add descriptions and add prices, show the price, show description, all that sort of stuff, and change the size of it. The main thing I wanted to show you, there was this ability to hover over it, and you get this lovely ability to see the other, closer details on the product, without necessarily having to go to each product page to see the details. So a great block if you want to, customize your shop page again, or your category pages. So there we go. There's the product card block. Next up is the Masonry product grid block. I'm a sucker for Masonry grids. I love them. Where you've got this kind of brick layout, I think they look really elegant. And I think for certain products, they can just kind of raise the store to a really sort of different level. So this is a block, again, part of our Storefront Blocks plugin. I love this one. So let me just add it to the page. And it just automatically creates this Masonry grid layout for you dynamically. So it's very simple to get up and running, but it just looks beautiful kind of out the box. But again, you can choose which products you want to show. You can change the order of the products. You can also do things like you can hide the titles. So if you just want to show your images in a nice grid like this, which I am kind of in love with, then you can do that. And you can also do cool stuff like you can change the grid gap. So if you want no gap, can you see how that gap is just changing like that? So that's really cool, isn't it? You can also change the height of the grid like this. So it just kind of takes your shop to the next level. So that is the Masonry product grid for part of the Storefront Blocks plugin. So this next block is really useful. It's the bestsellers block from WooCommerce, and it comes as part of WooCommerce. Let me just search for bestsellers. Here it is. So what it lets you do is what it says on the tin. It just lets you show your best-selling products in your WooCommerce store. So you could show this on your shop page or your category pages if you wanted to, because you can filter by category here as well. Or you could have this on your homepage. Your homepage might be a great place to show this. You just have a section on your homepage, which you might call bestsellers. You can change the number of columns over here in the block customizer. Can you see I'm just changing this little slider here? And you can set the number of rows if you want to. And then you can also, turn off and turn on whether you show the add to cart button or your product description or your titles. So there we go. That's the bestsellers WooCommerce block. Really useful for dynamically showing your best-selling products. Right, this next one is the product list block. This is a really good block for a few reasons. The first is, or in fact, let me add it to the page so you can actually see it. So it's called product list. So let's just search for that. There it is. And we'll just add it to the page. So the first is it will create your products in a nice list layout. So rather than a grid layout, you've got a nice list and your customers can quickly scroll up and down the list very easily. So it's very good for mobile, but also good if you've got, that suits your sort of product range. But it also comes with some nice options to customize it. So the first thing is you can precisely pick the products that you want to show in your list, like I'm doing over here on the right. I'm just picking some products. The second is you can rearrange those products in any order that you like just by dragging them up and down. So that's really cool. And then it's also got some really nice features. So you can actually filter these by category. So you could use these on your category pages. You Could use them on your shop page as well. It's got pagination built into it if you have many products that you want people to paginate through to. And then it's got this nice feature here where you can actually show view product button. So you can either have an add to cart button or a view product button. If they click view product, that'll actually take them to the product where they can get further details on the product. The other really nice thing that you can do here is you can actually hide these. So if you just want to have like catalog mode, where you're not actually asking the customer to do a transaction, you can just turn off the add to cart button and you've just got a product list, a really nice product list. So it's a really, really useful block for a number of different reasons. It's called the product list block and it's part of the Storefront Blocks plugin. Right, this next one is fantastic for showing testimonials and reviews, which can be incredibly powerful when you're trying to, show social proof of your products on your site. And here we have one on a page actually with conjunction of another block that I'm going to show in a few minutes. This is the flipbook block, which we built, but this is the reviews block from WooCommerce. It's a very simple block to use. There's two types of blocks actually. There's a reviews by product or an all reviews block you can use, and they both work in fundamentally exactly the same way. So if I want to add it under this flipbook that I've got going on here, which I'm going to show you in a second, you just come to the plus sign, search for reviews, and you'll see the two reviews you've got, reviews by product or by category, three, or all reviews as well. So if I drag the all reviews underneath, that's just going to list all the reviews from your customers. Now, it's me because this is a demo site and I've added all the reviews on here. But you can also customize them over on the right here in the customizer panel. So you could do things like hide the product name if you wanted to. You could hide the product rating. You can hide the reviewer name. You can get rid of their image if that's an issue. You can get rid of the review date. You kind of get the idea. Or you can have the product that's been reviewed here, or the reviewer photo. So the product's quite cool. If you're going to put that like on the home page, maybe the product would be better than the reviewer photo. So it depends a bit on the context of how you're going to use this. You've also got some options down here, how you're going to order them by, and how many reviews you want to show, and a few other things like that. But fundamentally what you're doing here is trying to show to your potential customers that other customers love your products. And of course, because they're blocks, you can move them around the page, you could put them into columns, you can design them any way you like, really. So there we go, that's the reviews block from WooCommerce. It's a really, really simple block to use, and you can use it on your home page, your shop pages, within blog posts, or on a testimonial page. It's really up to you where you use it. Okay, this next one is one of my personal favorites, probably because we built it, and you can see it up on the screen. It's called the it's called the flipbook block, and it just creates your products in this beautiful, we call it a flipbook, but this lovely flipbook that just flips across the page here. And so you can either let it self-run or your users can come in and jump. So fantastic for like a home page or a shop page. You can filter them by category as well if you want to, but they're incredibly simple to set up and running. Again, these would be good within if you want to upsell products within your posts, potentially using the upcoming Block Injector plugin. So let me just show you how this works. You just add the block itself. So I'm going to drag it across. Very simple to add. There we go. And it starts you off, it looks great. But you can also, as you probably expect by now, you can choose which products you show in this. So let me just pick them over here on the right. You can change the order, how they appear, just by dragging them up and down. So the red bag's going to be the first product in the list. If I want the Buddha bracelet to be first, I can just drag it to the top. You can decide some things like show the price here. So if you don't want to show the price, you can turn that off. You've got layout options in here, so you can make it full width. So that's going to span the entire width of your website. You can change the height of it as well, just by dragging this little slider up and down. How cool is that? You can change the top and margin paddings here. So that's good if you're positioning this within other elements within your site. You can also decide whether you want to center this. Let me just make this a bit smaller. Whether you want to center this text, like I've just done here. See how I've just centered the text? Or you can have it aligned right over there. It's really up to you. and you can change the fonts and the font sizes and the font colors as well. So it's a really cool block. I think it looks really, really beautiful. Again, it just takes your store to the next level, so it looks far more professional if you're using, you know, blocks like these rather than just a standard WooCommerce grid all the time. There is a place for the WooCommerce grid, but this stuff elevates it. It just elevates your site to the next level. So that is the Flip Book block. Right, the next blocks, there's actually two blocks, and the checkout and the cart block. Now, normally when you have a WooCommerce site, your checkout page and your cart page will be determined and work because of the shortcodes that are put in them automatically by WooCommerce. WooCommerce does this for you. And you can see them here. There's a whole bunch of shortcodes that WooCommerce adds into your site for you. And you'll see them here. This is actually just added automatically using the shortcode block. And then this is the actual shortcode here. And that just says, right, bring the checkout into that position. But WooCommerce have actually developed a block for the checkout now, which they are claiming will give you a 10% improvement in conversions. So it's more elegant and you'll get higher conversions. So I do recommend you use it. It's very simple to add. You just, as you saw there, you just delete your existing shortcode from the checkout page and then click on the plus sign. Now you will need the WooCommerce plugin to see this block, because it is actually part of the WooCommerce Blocks plugin, not part of core WooCommerce quite yet. But here we go. Down here, can you see there's a checkout and a basket? I'm on the checkout page, so I'm just going to add that into my checkout page, and it will replace the existing shortcode that I just deleted. And can you see we've got a different layout, a much more elegant layout, much more concise layout for your block. And again, just to repeat, they are claiming a 10% improvement in conversions because of the way this block is being built and will be developed. So you're kind of getting the best of breed if you start using this block. There might be some compatibility issues if you're using third-party plugins to tailor this page. So just check with those before you start using it on your real sites. You'll also see over on the right here, we've got some nice options to customize it, so you can, you know, turn on certain fields like company, turn off flat and phone and stuff like that, all just with these simple little toggles. And you see how the fields over here on the left are adjusting automatically. You've also got options here to show links to your policies and to show return to basket link. Okay, and a few other things as well. You can have a dark mode if your theme has a dark background color. So there we go. There's one for the checkout and there's one for the basket. I'd recommend using them if you are using blocks, and once you've checked the compatibility, any compatibility issues that you might be having on your own sites. So there we go. There's my guide to my top 10 blocks for WooCommerce. Let me know what you think. Did I miss any out that you really, really love? I'm going to put a link to a guide, a huge 5,000 word guide that I've done on WooCommerce blocks in the description below. Plus I'll put some links in on how you can use these blocks to customize your shop page and your category pages. If you enjoyed this video, that's great. If you can give it a thumbs up, that would be fantastic, because it just really helps spread the word. And if you want to see more videos like this around WooCommerce or the block editor, hit subscribe and you'll be informed of any time I do a new video. So thank you so much, and I shall see you all soon.